Okay, so let's recap on common ground. You recall there's two sorts of common ground. There's personal common ground and common ground in the issues themselves. Personal common ground, that's those areas of just two people knowing what interests them both. So it might be about family, sport, if there's been a long weekend, maybe something that's in the news, or the weather. You'll often find people saying, talking about the weather. Well, why? Because something that we all experience. The common ground in the issues is what we want to focus on, because that's where it can make a difference in creating cooperation between people involved. And that might be in a negotiation, it might be in a situation with a customer, some conflict with a team member. Any of those situations, what you recognise is that in the past, there are differences. In the future, that's where we might find agreement. And that agreement is likely to be in things that are, we both want to get this project completed on time. It's important to both of us, or to all of us, that we find a way of satisfying the customer on this. We all want to work together to make sure that we can fulfill this contract. So things that are in the future, most often are those areas of common ground. Where do we use common ground? Often it's good to start a conversation after you've done some of the personal common ground stuff, starting it off with, okay, so we all know why we're here. Okay, so look, you've seen the agenda. Something that forms a basis for the discussion. You don't want to use it to shut the other party down. You don't want to use it as a way of overriding what they want to say. Let them vent, let them get their issues out. Very often you find it's useful to come back later on and use that common ground as a way of starting to solve a problem. So, look, we all said earlier that what's important to us is. We'll recognise that what we're doing here today is to try and find a way to. So some of those sorts of phrases, later on in the conversation, once all the issues are out on the table and once everyone's had their say, it can operate as a good process monitor for the conversation by injecting some of those common ground comments. Here's a trick. Rather than stating common ground, use your ears to find it. Use your ears, listen carefully, and find opportunities to say, me too. Someone says, look, I'm frustrated with this, I just want to get it done today. Well, me too, I agree, I think that's important. I think we agreed that we can find a solution today, and we should do. Recognising that we all want the same thing. The other way of looking at common ground is quite often it's as if we're on opposite sides of a table. You're over there and I'm here, and there's distance between us. There are issues that divide us. Whereas in fact you want to be saying we're on the same side here. Finding that common ground is almost a way of saying, look, me too, I agree. I think what we both want is, and it's a way of saying, I'm on your side, I'm with you. I think we both want the same thing here. It reduces the tension and positions the conversation to look to the future and not be concerned with past differences. So, top tips for common ground. First of all, think in advance about the things that might be common ground so you've got some in your head. Second, think about when you use common ground. Use common ground early on, establish the common ground, and then once all the issues are out on the table, that's the time then to restate it as a way of moving the conversation on. Third tip, use me too. Listen carefully and hear those opportunities to throw in, me too, I agree, I think that's important, I want that too. So those sorts of phrases make it clear that you're on the same side and you both want to get the situation resolved.